everybody. Welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Marvelous Monday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Today I'm going to be doing a little Halloween treat box with a special surprise on the inside. This is not going to be a very long video, but I just wanted to pop on and share this with you. So let's get started. So I'm using the Hollows Night Magic and the Cobwebs 3D embossing folder. I have some die cuts that are left over from my last project, which you could see from Saturday's Paper Crafting Saturday, where I did a different Halloween treat box. I did this one. And you can go back and watch that, but I did have some leftover die cuts that I wanted to use up. And when I have leftover die cuts, I just keep them in a little plastic envelope. This is one of our clear envelopes that you can also store your cards in to protect them. So for instance, you can see that this card was an original watercolor that I painted, and I just pop it inside of this plastic envelope, and that helps to keep it clean and protected. Well, they're very useful because you can also put these little tiny things in as well. And we're also going to be using, these are the dies that come as a bundle with this set, and these are called Halloween Magic, and we're going to be using the spider die cut today, and I've already done that. And finally, if I could find it, let me see if I put it back here. We're also going to be using this die, and this is called the little treat box, and I've been using this quite a lot. I really like it. So this big die, you can see it comes with a bunch of extras, including some very cute spiders. It looks like this when you cut it out, and these are really cute. They've got this nice little lace edging. They're very easy to put together, and this is what we're going to use today. So the only thing I have left to do is to use the Cobwebs 3D embossing folder. So for that, I'm using my Stampin' Cut machine, and I'm just going to grab my extra plate over here. Let me just get my computer set up. There we go. Okay, now I need the 3D embossing plate. And the way this works is very simple. All the instructions are right on your base plate. So if you look at this one, which is labeled number 1, you can find the 3D embossing folder instructions right here. And all I need is plate number 1 and plate number 4. So that's number 1. And I'm putting these other ones aside. Here's number 4. And I'm just going to take I'm using the silver foil paper, and this measures 1 3/4 inch wide by 4, and I've scored it at, let me see, what is that? That's 1 5/8. Now the 3D embossing folders are thicker than the standard embossing folders, and that's why we need this special plate. And what you want to do is make sure that you have the Stampin' Up! Logo facing up. You just open it up, it opens like a book. Place your foil in there, and if you'd like, you can arrange it so that you can get a particularly nice spider web image. So I like that area there. And just get that lined up. Okay, and then the hinge side goes through the machine first. So I'm going to put it through this side, and I'm just rolling that through with the crank, and then it comes out the other side. And there is our spider web. I'm just going to give that a gentle fold on the score line. And there it is. So here's the box that I've already cut out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my bone folder, and I'm just going to give that a nice press. Now, many of the tools that you see me using all the time, things like the trimmer, which is this thing that I use to cut out all the paper, okay? It has both the cutting blade and a scoring blade, and it has this arm that opens out. So you just pop this out and swing it up, and you can accommodate a piece of paper up to 17 inches wide, so that's plenty big enough. And then down in this direction, I think it's another 12 inches. So that's a good size cutter, and it gives you perfect cuts each time. So that plus the bone folder and my snips, these are all essential tools that will help you to make these things really well. And if you don't have a good set of tools ready, then you might want to consider checking out the starter kit, where you can get all of those tools at a really good savings. And that's on my website under Join at dandelioncottagedesign.com. You'll see something called the recommended starter kit that I've put together for you if you're just starting out. So all I'm doing here is, I don't know if you can see this with the dark paper or not, but there's a little tab and a slot, okay, and I'm just pushing that tab into the slot on both sides. Okay, I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up or not. There you go, I think you can see that. And then what I'm going to do is on the back side, I'm just going to take some of my liquid glue and put it like so, and flip this up. I'm going to hold that for just a moment. I've got my fingers on the inside there so I can press it together. And it just takes a second for this glue to begin to set. So you just want to make sure that everything's tucked in and all your corners are nice and even. And then I'm going to take my foil, put a little bit of glue on there, and then I'm just going to set that in like so. And again, I'm just holding that for a moment to make sure everything is in its place. And you can slide this over a little bit to get it just the way you want it. You have a few seconds before it dries. Okay. Now, if you have one of our little blocks, here's one of the clear blocks, that will fit in there perfectly so that you can squeeze it from both sides to make sure that that glue has a good adhesion. There you go. Okay, so we're going to just put this aside for the moment. I have a little piece of the Cajun Craze. Let me zoom you in a little bit closer. So here's a little piece of the Cajun Craze, and that's going to fit on the outside of the box on the front panel perfectly. And the measurement for this is 1 5/8 by 2 1/8. And that's just the right size for the front, leaving a little bit of the black border on all sides. Now let's see what goodies I have in that little bag. So I know I've got a bunch of spiders. So I have 2 different kinds. I have the I don't know if you can see this either, but this is a very ornate spider, and this comes with the mini treat box. And if you look at it from an angle, you can see it's got this beautiful pattern embossed on it. It's really pretty. So I think I want to use one of those. And then I have, this is the spider that came from All Hallows Magic in this night. And what I've done is I've just stamped this with basic black, or tuxedo black, I should say, the Memento tuxedo black, onto the Cajun Craze. And then I just curled the legs up a little bit so that it looked raised and a little more creepy. I also have some of this lace left over, which I really like, and I'd like to use that. So let's see. I think I have just enough to put 2, let me see. Let's measure to be sure. So this measures 4 3/8. If I were to cut that right there, yeah. Yeah, I think we can do this. So I'm going to snip this. Right in the center there. And that will cover that side. And then this can line up over here. Okay, so let's see how this looks. I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper. I'm just going to put some dots of glue on the thick part of the lace, like so. And I'll do that on both sides. I think what I'll do is I'll leave a little space in the center between them, and that will make it work out just perfectly. There we go. Now that glue that you see there will dry clear, so I'm not worried about that. What I do want to do is just get it so that the pattern is equal on each side. There we go. Okay, that's pretty cute. And I'm just going to snip off this extra bit. There we go. All right. Now, bring it down a little bit more. There you go. Now what I want to do is I want to get one of my spiders on the cover there. So I'm just going to make sure that those legs are nice and bent. And I'm going to use one of my dimensionals, and I think, let me see, how big is that? Yeah, I think I better use a mini dimensional for this. And I'm going to double this up because I want this spider to have a nice high relief. But before I attach it, I'm going to put it on my box first so I can burnish it. I'm just holding that for a moment to let that catch. And I'm also making sure that it's nice and square. And then I'm just going to give that a nice press. I don't want to burnish it because I'm afraid to knock down some of the relief on my foil, so I'll just press this one and just get it back into place like so. And there's the front of our box, so that's very cute. Now inside the box, we need one of these creepy little spiders. So I'm just going to curl those legs a little bit too, and this time I'm just going to put one mini dimensional on it because I want it to have some relief, but I don't want it to be so high that it interferes with the closure of the box. And I'll just put that creepy spider right there. Okay. And actually, I'm going to put a couple more. I think there's enough room in here for 3 of them. So this one coming out towards us. And what I want to do here is I want to make sure that they don't overlap one another. So I'm just arranging them so that they can be side by side when the box is closed. Add another mini dimensional. And I'm just going to check the placement here, and I think this one would be quite good right here. Perfect. Okay, so now I've got this nice creepy spider's nest on the inside of my box. And what I want to do is I want to put some gems on them. So I'm just grabbing my iridescent pearls, and this is part of the suite. And these are very pretty. They have a kind of a peacock color iridescence about them. So you've got your amethyst, your blues, and your greens. And I'm going to put one in the middle of each of these spiders' bodies. Just like so. Okay. It's pretty spooky. And that's going to close up nicely. And then what we need now is a pretty ribbon. So I have the black ribbon with the little sparkles. Somewhere here, it's right here. And this is called the glittered organdy ribbon. And this is going to look very good with the silver foil paper. Okay, so you can see it's got all these beautiful little silver flecks on it. Now this treat box is big enough to hold 2 Ghirardelli chocolates. You could put some other kind of flat candy in there. Maybe something like a peppermint patty would fit in there. I don't know because I don't get those very often. But it's a cute little box that you could put a number of things on. It's also big enough to hold some makeup if you wanted to give somebody some makeup gifts. So pretty much whatever you want to put in there. Let's see what I have handy here on my desk. Will this fit? Yeah, okay, so here's a kneaded eraser. If you have a crafty friend that you'd like to gift a kneaded eraser to, that will fit nicely in there. And I also have a rubber pickup. This has been trimmed down, so this might be a little bit too big to put in there, but you get the idea. All right, so I'm just going to, excuse me, like get a sip of coffee here. I'm drinking my coffee black today because I'm out of almond milk. So I am going to be going full speed. Okay, so I'm just threading the ribbon through those 2 little slots that the die cut out. And now I'm just going to trim enough so that I can tie a bow. And if you want to make a little tag, you could do that. There's a really cute sentiment on here. I think I'd like to have a tag for this one. So let's take a look at that. So there's our box. Very cute. So I like this open if you dare. So I'm going to take a little piece of my Cajun Craze. I'm just grabbing a scrap. So here's a little scrap. And I'll use the Tuxedo Black ink for this. Let's see which way this goes. Okay, it looks like that. Give that a stamp. And there we have our Open If You Dare. And I'm just going to snip that out. And I'll put a little flag on the end. So I'll just go snipping up through the center and then diagonally from corner to point. And I'll give that a little bit of a curl. Oops. I like my banners to have a little bit of a curl to them. And I'll do it back the other way too. All right. And now we just need to punch a hole in that. And I have a little bit of linen thread. I'm just going to cut a length of that and find the center, and then I'll just take that center loop and push that through the hole and then loop that around. There we go. And now I can take this and I'm just going to tie it through one side of the box tags, and that way when you go to untie the bow, the tag will still be attached. So just tie that on there like so. Just snip those extra ends. And I can add one more spider. Oh, actually, I never got to put this spider on. Here we go. Here's our spider. So I'm going to take this spider that we doubled up the dimensionals on a minute ago, and I'm just going to put that on the front of our box, like so. And I think that spider could use a little something. Let's see. What do we have here? I'm going to try a little wink of Stella on this one and see how it looks. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's our little Halloween treat box with the scary spider on the outside and our little tag. And then when we untie the bow, we can open it up, and there on the inside is our creepy family of spiders, of ornate spiders. So thank you very much for joining me today. This is one of the boxes that we'll be making in the upcoming Halloween party Zoom class. And if you'd like to find out more about that, please go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and subscribe to notes, and you will get an invitation. There's going to be a prize for the best mask or hat, since just our heads will be showing. And the prize winner for the best costume is going to get this paper pumpkin kit. And inside of here, you have a number of Halloween cracker treat boxes, cracker style treat boxes that you can make and put together, and everything is in the kit that you need. It's all inclusive. So I hope you'll join me for that. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you like this little treat box that I made for you. Stay well, stay creative, and I'll see you next time.